Okay, Charge d'Affaires from the U.S. Embassy of Bucharest, David Muniz. Thank you so much, sir, for having us today with you here at Kimball, and we are so excited to talk about your visit in Timişoara today.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the air. I really appreciate it, and it's really fantastic to visit Timişoara. It's the first time I've had the privilege of coming out here, heard wonderful things about the city. It has lived up to all the expectations. It's a wonderful place. You can see the history, the culture, and tradition visiting downtown. It's also a place that has been a great home for so many U.S. businesses and investors that are here in this region. We're sitting in the offices of Kimball. We've also just visited Hamilton Manufacturing here, and there are many more American firms out here. And so one of the messages that we wanted to bring to Timişoara was to highlight the U.S.-Romania economic partnership, which we think is vital and growing and very important to the future of our strategic partnership between the two countries.
Let's start with that. Yeah, we have some insights about your visit at the American Chamber of Commerce today. How was that? Was it fruitful? How'd you find it?
It was very good. I mean, AmCham is a very large, diverse, and active Chamber of Commerce. It's the most active AmCham I've ever had the privilege of working with in my career. And we've been wanting to see AmCham out on the road doing more outside of Bucharest and to bring in more American companies and become a voice for businesses, not just in the capital. And so thankfully, now that COVID is over and we're able to travel and do these kind of events, we're able to get out here and actually finally do this. And very, very happy to see all the businesses represented here and learning about opportunities for U.S. investors in Timişoara. I think, when we talk about U.S. investment in Romania, one thing that I was stressed, and I stressed today at AmCham, when the strategic partnership started in 1997, bilateral trade was only at, I think it was under $1 billion at that time combined. But today we see that there's $3 billion in Romanian exports coming to the U.S. and $1.4 billion of American exports coming to Romania. So on the Romanian side, exports to the U.S. have grown sevenfold since 1997, and our exports to your country have grown fivefold. U.S. direct investment in Romania is now at around $4 billion. We, of course, would like to see that grow. We think it obviously has a positive impact on Romania's economy, obviously, right? And it does very well to employ people, provide jobs and growth. But there's another impact that American investment brings that we think is very important. And that is helping to advance business culture, corporate culture. Right here at Kimball and back at Hamilton, they make it a policy, for example, to have gender balance in their workforce, which makes their company more productive, makes them better places to work, makes them attractive to employees. And this is something that we would like to see more of. I think all of us would like to see more of in Romania. So American companies are bringing American values throughout the business sphere, not just dollars and cents, which is very important, not just employment, which is very important, but other values as well.
Exactly, policy, and have you seen a lacking of gender representation in the workforce here, or are there similar situations? I've heard from my other colleagues that were at the Chamber of Commerce. You discussed about lacking in infrastructure, a little bit about corruption maybe, I don't know, things that has some wiggle room, to improve.
Well, I think Romania, to start, I would have to say Romania is very attractive to U.S. investors, right? You have an excellent workforce, educated, you have a significant population size, you have a good location, and there's a lot of favorable factors that have attracted American companies here, and they've been very successful, and they're very happy with Romania. I think that's an important point. I don't think we'd see trade growing to the extent that it has without that being true. Are there challenges? Well, yes, of course there's challenges. The same challenges that affect many, many countries. In Romania, corruption, yes, is still an issue. Transparency of regulations, predictability of regulation, stability of regulation. These things all affect the willingness of investors to come. Infrastructure, of course, is a challenge. I think it's something that everyone in Romania discusses frequently. I think we all do. But we know, and we're working closely with the government on all of these issues, and I think you've seen a lot of progress over the years in those areas too. It's not a static situation, right? It's certainly on a scale, if you will, and certainly things are improving. But we'll hope to see continued improvement as our economic relationship expands.
How about the other way around? What about Romanian businesses and Romanian workforce, going past the Atlantic and coming to the land of the free?
Well, we'd like to see, we would certainly like to see, how would I put this? In a healthy environment, in a healthy relationship that the United States has with a foreign ally and partner, in the economic relationship, when you begin to see the two-way traffic becoming equal and growing, that's when you know the relationship is maturing to that point. We've seen some Romanian companies invest in the United States. In particular, in the IT field, which is very strong, we've seen a couple of Romanian firms list publicly on U.S. exchanges and kind of take their place globally as competitors in their fields. This is a very healthy sign, and we want to see more and more of that in the future.
So those are the bridges that we can build on for our collaboration in the future, economic-wise.
Yes, yes. And another important area I do have to mention, which is a pillar of our economic relationship, is our energy partnership. I think, as you're probably familiar, the embassy is very engaged with the Romanian government and with some of your companies in expanding our partnership, particularly in nuclear energy, which is very exciting. Yeah, in Cernavodă. Also, the small modular reactor project that's going to be, I think, in Doicești and Dâmbovița County. These are really important strategic projects. We want to see a long-term, decades-long partnership with Romania in this area. If and when Romania fulfills all of these projects, it will be a regional leader in providing carbon-free energy, Russian-free energy to this whole region. The Cernavodă project alone will double the capacity of that plant. The SMR project, very exciting. It will be the first of a kind use of a brand new U.S. technology that makes nuclear power safer, more affordable, scalable, and just basically more available and useful to the consumer. And so we're really excited about that as well. In addition to that, we are working with the government on legislation for offshore wind, because I think there's a lot of potential there. Also oil and gas offshore, even geothermal, we're having discussions. Romania really, I think, has the potential to become an energy, at least a regional energy power here in Europe, and really do a lot to help this region protect itself from the kinds of energy weaponizations that we've seen further east.
Let me ask you a little bit about, let's localize ourselves a little bit.
Sure.
Here in Timişoara, you visited this city. Have you been here before? And do you think it represents, I don't know, is it attractive for U.S. investors, or I don't know, what's your first impression on it?
Well, I have a wonderful impression of Timişoara. This is my first visit. I have wanted to get out here for a while, but there are so many places in Romania that I have not gotten to, and I keep kicking myself. But very, very happy that we're able to do this. Wonderful city, wonderful people here. To answer your question, I would say it is a very attractive place for U.S. investors, because we do have a lot of U.S. firms here, and they keep looking. I think its location is quite favorable as well, given that it's in Western Romania and close to a lot of European transportation networks. We also we had a wonderful meeting with the mayor, and I want to thank the mayor for his hospitality. We had an excellent discussion about not only the economic relationship, but other aspects of our relationship as well. Timişoara, as you all know, has been selected to be the European Capital of Culture starting next year, which is a very big deal. And we're really excited about that. The embassy is focused on a number of great cultural programs that we believe we can bring to contribute to the Capital of Culture celebration, a number of them, and we want to support it that way. We also are hoping that U.S. firms that are resident here in Timişoara will be able to help support that effort. I think Timişoara is a great place to have a Capital of Culture moment, and we certainly hope that it puts Timişoara even more on the map after this year, or that year that's coming up. I think it starts in February, is over. Just like Sibiu in 2007. There's so many places in Romania that deserve more attention and more accolades, particularly from other Europeans, and we really look forward to seeing the results. So, in all aspects, this is a great city, it's a great region, and you have a lot to be proud of. And you can see quite clearly, just driving around here, all of the wonderful development and how Timişoara is moving ahead into the future and doing great things for Romania and for itself. So, very positive impression, to answer your question.
Wow, that's really good feedback. Yeah. Now let's get down to business, as in corporate business.
Yes.
How Hamilton and Kimball, you visited both facilities. What's your feedback on that?
Well, I mean, what we see here are high-end, high-tech cutting edge firms doing cutting edge work here in Romania, doing manufacturing of the most sophisticated electronics in the case of Kimball, and also measuring devices and other medical measuring devices. And it's hard to describe exactly what Hamilton does in one word, I would say, but doing the finest precision manufacturing. So I think it's important for people to understand that these are good jobs for a reason, and they're attractive employers for a reason, because the work that they do is not, as we would say in the past, back office work or kind of like putting small parts together for someone else to do the finishing. You're doing all the work here in Romania. That's true of so many U.S. investors here. In the IT field, you've got people designing products here in Romania that are being used worldwide. At Ford, they're starting to manufacture electric vehicles here in Romania. It's like the first place in Europe that Ford is going to be doing, I think it's the first place we're going to be doing electric vehicles. So they're doing cutting edge work. That's what's important. That's quality investment. That's the kind of investment you want. It builds lives, it builds careers, and it leads to further developments. People who work at these companies are going to go out and start their own companies here locally or do other things. We see that in the IT field as well. And that's what I mean when I say we want to see the economic relationship become dynamic and take off in that way.
Yeah, and there is a constant opinion in the U.S. regarding small businesses. They are the backbone of each nation's economy, right?
Yes, I mean, the statistics all show, like small and medium enterprises are where growth happens, job growth, salary growth, so many things are happening in that way. So yes, these are very impressive firms, and I also like to see how well they treat their employees. I think that's an innovation that is helpful in any country, changing corporate culture.
Let's dive a little bit into the situation in Ukraine. Sadly enough, winter is coming. We are talking talking about threats, economical and more. How do you see the situation, given the fact that the population is starting to worry about how this winter is going to pass through, and what's the standpoint looking from the U.S. Embassy when it comes to NGOs and the way the general population authorities and humanitarian organizations have been invested in helping the refugee crisis?
Well, I'll start with the end of your question there, because I think that's a really important point. I think it's been exemplary and heartwarming to see how much assistance Romanians have given to Ukrainian refugees from the start of this conflict. To see people driving up in the early days up to Siret, and offering help and shelter and food and transport and all of this, and there's still a strong will in Romania to take care of refugees, and this is really heartwarming to see. Here in Timişoara, we had the opportunity to visit a local NGO, the Logs Association, and I'm proud to say that we're going to be supporting Logs with a grant going forward because of the fine work that they're doing. They've, in the past, have assisted Afghan refugees. Now, they're assisting Ukrainian refugees, and they're doing an amazing job. Trying to help people find places to stay, find things to do, helping kids with education. I think the Romanian government and the Romanian people together have done an exemplary job at helping these refugees. And I think it's really a credit to Romania because it's an experience that as a country, I believe you really haven't had before, certainly not in recent times. And so I think it says a lot that so many people came forward to help in a time of need. Are we concerned about what's going on in Ukraine? Well, yes, I think we all are very concerned.
Everybody's concerned.
Yeah, I will say, I think Romania, from what I've seen, is well prepared to go through this winter, as well prepared as it can be. It's because you already have a high degree of energy independence, and because your government is pursuing further measures to expand that energy independence and enhance that I think Romania is in a better place maybe than others in order to deal with the challenges that are coming. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I don't think any of this has been easy for any of us, to be honest. I mean, the impacts of this war are being felt worldwide. But I think Romania is well prepared as a result. So, but in particular, the treatment of refugees has been exemplary.
Yeah, well, I'm down to my last question, and I want to end in a positive note.
Yeah.
Timişoara, as you mentioned, is scheduled to hold the title of European Capital of Culture. We want a message from you for this particular event, and I'm guessing, can you give us a little bit of a hint? You're going to be present here a little bit more than usual?
I always hope to be. I can never promise anything, of course, but it's certainly our intention. First, congratulations to Timişoara on winning the title of Capital of Culture. I think it's going to be a fantastic year. I think everyone in Europe is going to know more about this city as a result of what's going to take place here. We, the U.S. government, are ready to contribute quite a lot to that effort to make it successful. I already know the kinds of things that we're going to be able to contribute, and I'm very excited about that. You're going to see a lot of American visitors here as a result, and not just official visitors like me, but hopefully some persons of cultural importance from the U.S. who will be able to get out here. It's those people-to-people ties that really build the relationship outside of official channels, and something that I think is very important and not always recognized, but we want to see that happening here as well. Finally, I would like to congratulate you and Romanian Public Radio for your 94th anniversary, which I understand took place 2 days ago on November 1st.
Exactly,
So,
thank you so much.
No, it's really great what the work you all are doing. Fundamental value in any democracy is the free press, and you represent that here with Romanian Public Radio, and it's an important role that the press plays in keeping democracies functioning properly. So thank you for all that you do.
Charge d'Affaires of the United States in Bucharest, David Muniz, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.